How's it going, pals? My name is Palamore, and I'm playing an orc. I'm a part of the Horde, but in reality, I go by one motto, and that is that, I'm Alliance in the streets, but I'm a Horde in the sheets. Not a Tauren, a Goblin, if we're talking size stuff. Anyways, in today's video, guys, I have two different builds I want to show you, and these are kind of these broken feeling, very bursty, gimmicky PvP specs. One is for Subtlety, one's for Assassination. Anyways, let's jump right into the video. Okay, pals, so here we are down in the Dalaran sewers. Big shout out to my boy, Mitch James, always down here theory crafting and whatnot. Anyways, let's talk about these builds. So, first up is the Subtlety build. I'm currently not spec'd into it, but I'm going to walk through it with you. What I like to call this is basically the one dance build. This build is completely inspired by a rogue named Kalvish. He's a very good rogue player. I saw him streaming, and he was running this build, and it looked really interesting. So, in the first tier, I'm not exactly sure if he goes Weapon Master or Pre-Med, but I think Weapon Master really kind of synergizes to let it pop off. But then here's the thing that you do that's interesting, is you go both Night Stalker and Dark Shadow. So what this does is it limits your dance charges to 1, hence the name One Dance, and it's going to go ahead and take both dance damage talents, meaning that when you do Shadow Dance, you're going to be way more effective. This gets scaled down, but you're going to get 8% more damage off Night Stalker, and then Dark Shadow is going to bring the 15 baseline up to 30, so 15 plus 8, there's an extra 23% damage on your dance. I personally would only recommend playing this build maybe in like a very unique comp in 3s. In RMP, I think you get way more value out of double Shadow Dance because, the mage primarily is going to carry your damage anyways in the current meta. But if you're playing 2s with a healer, this can actually pull through a lot to do some crazy damage. And I really would recommend, it's really important to run with MA, and as much as you can, try not to Shadow Dance unless you get an opener from stealth, or if you have a Vanish to go really aggressive. Obviously, you won't always have that opportunity, but if you do, the amount of damage you pull off in a crit window is kind of insane with this. So I actually have some clips from 2s that I'm going to go ahead and show you right now running this build. I trinket this because I believe we win in 1 second. So a full kidney on the Priest. Vanish for the crits. Big crits, big crits. Yo! Oh my god, dude. They just have nothing. How I could die here. I do have a duel. I could kill the shaman in a duel right here, actually. There it is. Okay, guys. So for build number 2, we are looking at Assassination now. And I have a couple variants here that I like to use, but I came up with 2 different kind of ones. We'll kind of clump them together though. They're both Assassination. So number 1, I have the Big Envenom. Apparently, this has already been a very popular thing for a long time. I didn't know about it, and I kind of discovered this myself, and then I kind of remembered people had talked about this a while back. So I guess it's not that new, but to me it's new because I just discovered it. But then the other one is actually kind of like a general strategy with playing Assa that can make it a lot more viable in the current meta with not a lot of haste. So for the huge Envenom, you basically want to run this talent. You're going to run Elaborate Planning, and this is going to be because you're going to open with a Mark for Death Kidney. This is going to end up giving you just more damage value in a burst window than either of these. This one's RNG, and this one is kind of an overtime talent. In the second tier, this is where it's really important. I 99% of the time as Assa think that you should run Subterfuge, but for the special Big Envenom, you're going to want to go Night Stalker, and that is because you're going to use an Envenom from Stealth, and this will give you 50% more damage on that. Mark for Death is the go-to. These other ones are variables. I like to go Prey on the Weak. It gets nerfed down to 5% in PvP, but this will make your Envenom hit harder. Internal Bleeding is also a good choice, but if we're basing it all around the Envenom, definitely this pick. And then these ones don't really matter too much. This one's kind of the only viable pick, and then this one kind of gives overall more value than these ones. Anyways, for the actual crazy burst, this one's very simple. Basically, at any point in time, when you're doing a go, you can pop Vendetta on your target when you have 5 combo points, and you can Vanish Envenom Mark for Death and Venom. And what this will do is your first Vanish and Venom with full combo points is going to hit like a truck because you're doing it from stealth with Night Stalker. And then you're instantly going to follow that up with a Mark for Death and Venom, which is going to be within your MA crit window. And these two Envenom stacked together, we're talking like, anywhere from 10 to 15k on the first Envenom, and then on the second Envenom, we're looking at anywhere from like 5 to 10k. Put those together, you're going to get some really big burst. I actually have a clip from 2v2 that I'm going to show you guys of me absolutely blowing up. I believe it was a Paladin, but yeah, I'll roll that clip for you guys, and you can see how this looks in action. Can I re-stealth? He just got rid of all my dots, dude. There it is, boys. That's the one shot right there, baby. Okay, pal, so the last thing I want to talk about in this video is kind of an opener that I've come up with for Assa. So, if you don't know, Assassination is about to get a 5% damage buff coming up this Tuesday. Previously, I think it was 2 to 3 weeks back, Assa got an 8% damage buff. So these two damage buffs added together, this is starting to actually push Assa into the meta a bit more. Has it been a viable pick? Yes. Has it been a meta pick? Not really. But with these damage increasing changes, it actually could become a lot more viable. One thing I specifically am lacking on is the fact that I have 3% haste with this trinket, and without it, I have 0. So, obviously, Mastery is going to be less valuable, and Haste is going to be more valuable if you're playing Assa. It's much better energy regen. It's much better, dot tick speed, all that kind of stuff. So Haste is important, but without Haste, I've kind of created a chunky, bursty opener that's going to really scale more off of verse, and kind of just like a playstyle adaptation that people can make. So in my one video, I talked about an Assassination Opener. It was very focused on using your crit window to apply huge dots and then vanish and kind of maintain this crit window. Realistically, vanishing in the opener is not always the smartest play, but this opener is actually realistic for high-rated arena, and it's something I think that people should take note of. So for some reason, as Assa, I feel like Ambush and Envenom are really undervalued, and people look at this spec as a dot spec, but Assa actually has really crazy burst damage, and I know this because I've spent many hours testing this. So the build I like to use here, once again, I like to go elaborate planning. This directly impacts your burst window. I go back to Subterfuge here. This way we have access to Ambush when we open more than just the initial hit. I like to stay with Mark for Death. Once again, variable. I take actually internal bleeding, and there's actually a good reason I take this. So internal bleeding will apply a bleed to your target, and if you don't know this, as Assa, if you have a bleed on your target, this talent will actually make a bleed and poison together give you bonus energy regen. This actually becomes really, really important in terms of doing this opener without Vendetta. If you're not running this talent and you're running this, you'll be energy starved and you won't be able to get it off in time. So make sure you're going internal bleeding. Overall, Alacrity gives you just so much value in this tier. It's hard to take the other ones, and Poison Bomb again. So for this opener, you are literally going to open up with a Mark for Death Kidney, get your Vendetta rolling. You're going to ambush 2 times into an Envenom. And I know it might sound silly, but this actually chunks so hard with the MA bracers. I compared this to Subtlety's burst. It seems like the one dance build does the #1 burst. This build, opening like this as Assa, does #2 burst, and then kind of standard Subtlety takes the #3 spot. So if you're not playing the one dance build, Assa actually can do really, really crazy burst. So I will go up front of Orgrimmar, I will go test this out, and I will show you guys on a player how much this actually does. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I grabbed a Warlock out here. I found someone that was decently geared, 38.5k health. He said he has 25% verse, so this is pretty realistic in the arena scene. I would say anything from 25 to 30 or even 20 to 30 is very realistic. But yeah, I want to show you guys this actual Assa burst opener in the works. Not applying dots, but focusing on ambush and Envenom and mutilates, all those kind of things. So once again, the opener really quick, it's going to be a Mark for Death Kidney into a Vendetta badge. Ambush, ambush, Envenom, followed by another ambush or mutilate. I'm not sure if you have enough time, but yeah, we will squeeze all this in, so here we go. And as you can see, it just absolutely shreds through. Keep in mind, this is a 25% versatility Warlock, and Warlocks have demon armor. 150% increased armor. They aren't squishy clothies like they used to be way back in the day, so believe it or not, this damage is actually pretty hard. Also, another thing to keep in mind, there is no ramp up here at all. You know, we're playing Assa. This guy's trolling. We're playing Assa, so, you know, we'd have a Garrote rolling, we would have a Rupture rolling, we'd have Slice and Dice rolling, potentially Sepsis, all these kinds of things. So yeah, anyways, that is 0 ramp up, Assa Burst. Oh hey, didn't see you there. This is the end of the video. Please like it and comment it. Subscribe if you didn't subscribe yet. And there is a description below the video, not describing the video, but it has a bunch of links to stuff for me. Thanks. See you next time.